think our technology is a third host. Like, I feel like it's you and me and tech.
Well, it's the troublemaker.
Exactly. And I don't like that because I want to be the troublemaker. And I feel like tech is just taking my role.
Yeah.
I was thinking today about how when we first started doing this podcast, we drank. Do you remember that? We don't do that anymore. And I just think that's so funny because it was because we were so freaking uptight when we first started doing this.
That we needed a drink.
And one day it was like 10 a.m. and I was like, Megan, fuck it. Let's just drink wine. And then we did. And then we were fine.
Right. And now we don't care.
God, alcohol. It's just like the cure-all of all anxieties. Here's to alcohol in general, even though we're drinking coffee and water.
Yeah, no kidding. So today when this airs, we are at WED MK.
I know. I'm so pumped. I hope a lot of people come and want our autograph.
I don't think anybody is going to want our autograph. That's the most ridiculous thing you may have ever said on this podcast.
Well, maybe you never know. But if you are planning to come and you're listening to this today, which is in the future of next week, but today,
April 16th,
you need to come and visit us and you need to come visit the Journeyman Kimpton booth.
Yes.
Because you got to pick up a passport. We made them. They're so cute.
Jen made them.
Okay, I was going to just be collective, but I did make them.
I'll give you credit where credit is due.
But yes, if you come by our booths, chat with us, follow both of us, the Kimpton Journeyman and the Planner's Passport on Instagram. You have to show us. Mm-hmm. And you have to still be following us when we pull your card. So don't get any ideas of following us and then walking out and unfollowing us. Okay?
As soon as you win or we announce, then you can unfollow us.
Yeah, then you can unfollow us. But if you do that, you're entered to win a one-night stay at the Journeyman, $150 food and bev credit, a bottle of bubbles, courtesy of us, and you get the biggest prize of them all is you get to be on the podcast.
If you want.
If you want. Who wouldn't want to be? You can drink if you want. That helps us sometimes when we feel nervous. So if you're a little bit of a nervous Nelly, we have ways to handle that.
And if you're listening to this in the morning on the 16th, I think around lunchtime, Jen and I will be down at the Journeyman. So if you want to come down and have lunch with us or get our autograph then, we'll be doing some social media content.
It might be a good idea just because I imagine the autograph line is going to be very long.
Yes.
When you get to WED MKE and you want to visit all the other booths. So
come have lunch at the Journeyman. Get our autograph. Yeah.
Yes. I'm very excited. And then I know we were like, oh, do we bring this up every week? But I do think let's plug our trip one more time, at least this week.
Yeah, definitely. And then we'll do it sporadically so that we annoy you just a little bit less.
Right. So you don't know when the annoyance is coming. Right. We like to be sneaky when we annoy. Not unpredictable.
But it's a really cool trip and we want you to come. So November 30th, we're going down to the Bahamas, Sandals, Royal Bahamian. It's all inclusive. It's going to be so much fun. Just a chance to relax, unwind, do some snorkeling, hang with Jen and I, connect with vendors if you want to. If you're not a vendor, just hang out with us, hear our stories. Listen, anybody can come.
Yep, anybody can come. Also, you forgot snubaing.
I'm not snubaing.
I know, but I'm really excited about it. And I think other people might be too.
Okay.
So yeah. And I'm sure some other surprises. I'm sure Megan and I have some surprises up our sleeves, but you will have to come to find them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are event planners. So, I mean, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be a good time.
So contact me, Megan, if you are interested. I do have a page dedicated on my website. So there's a link in our podcast Instagram feed to get there if you'd like to check that out. It's got some basic info. But if you're interested, feel free to shoot me an email. Jen hates email, so DM me. You can talk to Jen too. We'll get you the information somehow. But we really want you to come.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yep.
Any other business stuff? I don't think any other business stuff.
No.
Anything interesting in your personal life?
I have a wedding coming up. It's almost wedding season for me. So I'm about a month out from my first wedding. So that's exciting.
Okay. Where's it at?
A Filament.
Oh, cool. I don't think I've been there.
So that is a venue that's been called many things throughout my tenure as a wedding planner.
Where is it?
It's like kind of by the Pritzloff in that area.
Okay.
Two Birds owns it now. So they're managing it. That'll be fun. And then otherwise, I am leaving for Hawaii in 2.5 weeks with my family.
Hawaii? Big Island?
Oahu.
Cool. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I can't wait to learn about Oahu when you come back.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. I leave tomorrow for, I go to California. I'm executing a 10-person bachelorette weekend. But Megan and I were talking offline. Actually, that's funny. We rarely do that because we usually save everything. But she was laughing because she was like, this is so on brand for you to facilitate bachelorette parties. I was like, yeah, it kind of is. But, if you think about it, it's a lot of work to plan, right? Like you're planning a trip for 10 people. Then you're coordinating all the activities. And then when you're on site, you have to coordinate these activities, which these are wine tours and chefs are coming to the house and all this stuff.
Right.
So it makes sense if it's in your budget to just hire a planner to do it and facilitate it. Like, why wouldn't you? Then you can just enjoy it. You don't have to be the maid of honor, keeping everybody on track and having everybody hate you at the end because you're a bitch. Let me do that.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And Jen is you want her at your bachelorette party.
Yeah, you do.
She's fun.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my client who hired me is not the bride. And they were like, are you going to hang out with us? And I was like, no. And they're like, what if the bride asks? And I was like, well, then maybe. So I do that next week. Then I come home. I'm home for 3 days and I go to Virginia. So I'm doing a site visit out there. So I'm going coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
Yeah.
What did you do for your bachelorette party?
Milwaukee.
Yeah. Okay.
We ended at Victor's.
Classic.
Yeah. We did Axel's and, all my old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Which were really disgusting, actually. No offense to my old stomping grounds, but I don't know if they were always that way or if my levels of expectations of places I drink at changed.
Oh, God. I hope so.
Maybe both. But I remember the whole night, we'd get to a bar and I'd be like, oh my God, does someone have a wet wipe so I can wipe this stool down? This is so disgusting.
Do you know Victor's closed?
No.
Yeah, recently.
I knew it got sold. I didn't know it closed.
I mean, I guess there's the potential that it could reopen. The building's still there.
It'll never be the same. For a little background, real quick. Victor's in Milwaukee. We called it Victims. Use your imagination. But I was there most recently for my bachelorette, which now was a long time ago. Oh gosh. Do you know that I got married 9 years ago?
That's a long time ago.
So it's a long time ago. Anyways, they were still using CDs, like the DJ behind the bar.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yes.
I mean, they might have been last year too.
I'm sure they were. But this place was a place where you'd walk in and it was so diverse. Age, race, everything.
Did you ever go early for dinner? Did you ever get the fish fry?
Are you kidding me?
No, they had really good food.
You are kidding me.
No. So if you went early, at 5 o'clock, it was older people.
Yeah.
And they're huge fish fry. They had homemade desserts that somebody made in the back. And then they would play dinner dancing music. So these older people would get up on the dance floor and have their time.
I love it.
And then it would slowly transition into
a shit show.
An absolute mess of a night.
And that's when I would arrive. And so, no, I had no clue. One time I almost got into a fight outside of Victor's with a 7-foot tall man. And I was with my boyfriend at the time. And he was he was like, what are you doing? And he like, I was like, yeah, show us what you got, whatever. And he was like, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so that was a journey down memory lane.
Yeah. And I don't even know how we got there. But anyways, great transition into your trip to St. Vincent.
Which almost sounds like Victor's.
It kind of does. So it's like we plan it. God, we're so good at this. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm ready to kick back, relax, listen about your trip.
Yeah, it was a really good trip. So I went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It was a work trip, actually, as opposed to the vacations that I've been taking. But I had never been there before. So it's really far south. It's like, I mean, I guess it's not as far south as Curacao, but it's farther east.
Okay.
And so the flight from Miami, because I always connect in Miami, is actually longer to get to St. Vincent than to Curacao, even though Curacao is closer to South America, because St. Vincent's over by St. Lucia.
I'm looking it up right now.
You've been to St. Lucia.
I have, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So I was actually coming from Phoenix, so I flew into Miami, and then I connected at Miami.
Oh, I didn't realize you were literally going from one place to the next. Wow. Okay.
Yes. My family flew home and I flew to Miami. I stayed in the Pullman Hotel, which I would not recommend to anybody, not sponsored by the Pullman.
Like in Miami, you stayed there?
I like dragged my feet to get a hotel room to stay overnight. And I ended up at the Pullman and it said it was, 4 stars or something. And they had airport transportation.
Oh, God. It only has 4 stars on Google, though. That's not good.
Yeah, but some of the other ones by the airport are like 3.
Yeah, I mean, the rooms look nice. Like, I would have fallen for this, too.
Yeah.
And then it was gross.
I mean, it just wasn't.
I get it.
Yeah.
The Mandarin.
So anyway, so from Miami, it's like a 3.5-hour flight. So you're getting down there.
Yeah.
And everything went well. It's really cool when you fly down there. Like I said, you've been to St. Lucia, you know this, but like all of a sudden you just start seeing all of these different islands that like pop up and they're so mountainous and they're so green. It kind of looks like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
St. Vincent, it's actually St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So it's made up of 32 islands. 9 of them are inhabited, I believe.
Who owns them? The Dutch?
They're their own thing.
Oh, they're their own country.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes. So I get to the airport and I'm tired, but it's okay. I'm happy. I don't like to fly, so my feet are safely on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff online about the ride to the resort. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are going to tell you that you get motion sickness. And I believe, a lot of people do get motion sickness. I have really bad motion sickness, which you will hear about later. But I did not get motion sick on the ride from the airport to the resort. And it's just like the roads are windy so imagine like this huge island with mountains in the middle and all of the towns are around the outside of the island and there's no roads that go through the middle. Well, there might be, but they're not like well traveled. So you're just going along the outside of the island, up and down these little windy roads.
Yeah.
So I guess if you get motion sickness, be prepared with maybe some Dramamine, but it didn't affect me and I get motion sickness.
Well, it's funny because I do not get motion sickness. And in St. Lucia, I did.
Oh, really?
So on the way to the airport, I did not feel well.
Yeah.
So that's surprising. So I would say even if you don't get motion sickness, it probably just depends on all of the factors combined. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, right.
But I use the ear patch. Do you ever try the ear patch?
No, because I've heard that if you there's some people that you put that on and then you're fine. But once you take it off, it can like mess you up for like months.
What?
It happened to my mother-in-law. Yeah. You get like all like dizzy and you can't like orient yourself. Look it up online after this.
Yeah.
Or like it happens to some people like a month. And I'm like, I would rather be motion sick for 2 hours than risk being messed up for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. Huh.
But does the patch work for you?
It did. I mean, I never use it really because like it's not one of my things, but
yeah.
Somebody in the van was like, you don't look so good.
Slap this on your neck.
And I was like, okay.
So funny.
Oh, man. Okay. So, anyways.
So, and I had a private driver.
Ooh.
I think it was just because I was the last one through customs. And so they're like, so you go to like this little desk and for Sandals and you check in and they got your name and these girls are so cute. They're like, so would you like to ride by yourself? And I was like, oh, well, I don't care. Like I'll ride with anybody. It doesn't really matter. And they're like, oh, we'll just send you with, and they said the guy's name. My driver was so nice. I forget. And I was like, okay. So I had this huge like SUV to myself and he was giving me a good tour of the island.
I love that.
He was talking to me and it was so fun because you don't really know a lot of these places until you go to them and talk to the locals and stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was going for work despite what my social media looks like. So because I only sell sandals and beaches, it's not like they invite other travel agents too that sell all sorts of brands. So for them, it's a little like, come see our great resort. We want you to sell it. Not pitchy, but this is a fabulous resort. We want you to see it so that you'll sell it.
They're referred to as fam trips in the industry.
Yeah.
Familiarization trips. So it's like they want you to come experience it firsthand.
Yes.
Learn about it.
Yep.
And then, like it's so smart because obviously then you come back and you're like, oh, I've been there.
Yeah. It's just this time of year is when they do them a lot. And it's a little different for me having the wedding planning business because I have so much fucking work to do.
Yeah.
So it's like I go and the other travel agents, not that they don't have work to do, but like they're just there doing that.
Yeah.
We have meetings, we have resort tours, we have things that we're expected to be at. So like my day, and I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining how this trip went. Like I really wake up early. I'm usually up at 6 or 6:30, checking my emails for both companies, going to my meetings, coming back to my room, checking emails again. We also have like promotions running during that time. So we typically get more inquiries and quotes we have to send out. One day I was at the beach for like 2 hours and then we have to be at a dinner. Not that it's torturous work or anything, but like we go to dinner and I worked every night until 1:30 in the morning.
Ew.
I just have to. Like I have to respond to my wedding client. I can't just say I'm out of the office.
Yeah.
So these trips are fun and great and I really appreciate them, but it's a little bit different for me. I like when we have more free time because I just have so much more stuff to do. I want to go back on an actual vacation. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have some fun stuff that I wanted to tell you about.
Yeah.
So as I was there, I was texting Jen and I was like, Jen, I'm trying to like join and do stuff. So
yeah, she said she was trying to channel me.
Yes, I was trying to channel my inner Jen.
And I was like, I'm channeling my inner Megan. Leave me alone. I'm working.
Exactly. So before I went on this trip, you kind of look where you're going, right? And one of the things that I had seen, and I mentioned this on the last episode, but I want to tell you about it, is they have a bat cave nearby. A cave with bats that you can see. Yes. So we were at dinner the first night and I mentioned this bat cave. And I was like, does anybody else want to kayak out and see this cave? A couple other people interest.
Look at you.
So somebody looks into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, if you're going to this resort, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can sign up at the aquatics department for free. You sign up and they take a limited number of people 2 times a day in kayaks out. You paddle out to where the cave is. You get to see the outside of the cave and they talk to you about it. It's kind of cool because there's some bats in there that they thought were extinct.
Whoa.
And then somebody went in there and like did the scientific research that you do on bats or whatever and realized that they're not. So it's like the only place in the world that these bats live. So it's cool.
Yeah. And they were like, leave me alone.
Right.
They finally found a cave where people left them the fuck alone. And oh, don't worry. Some middle-aged people from the U.S. kayaked in and found them. Like, Jesus, leave us alone.
And now there's tours coming every day.
Yeah. And now they're like, we're done. Let's just.
Yeah. So if you want to go kayak out to see this bat cave, sign up right when you get there because when we went to sign up, they're like, it's full. We don't have any slots. But But
you were like, do you know who I am?
No, I did not say that because they don't care who I am.
They're
not
know.
Like, oh, we know the Planner's Passport podcast. Can we get your autograph?
Can we have your autograph?
No. They're like, we will take you guys. You can pay $60 and you can do a private Batcave tour.
Perfect.
So we're like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So me and this other woman and this guy signed up on Tuesday. We go, we check in. They're like, it's just the three of you? We're like, yeah. And they're like looking a little like, not worried, but a little like confused. Okay. I think they thought it was a bigger group.
Okay.
They asked us like 3 times if it was just the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Fine. We try to get clarification as we're putting on our life jackets and walking towards the kayaks. If we're going in the cave, what we're going to see in the cave, very vague. We get in the kayaks. I'm in the back of the kayak with this other woman. The other travel agent guy is in his own kayak, and then our guide is in his own kayak. Guide goes first. We paddle out to where the cave is, and he's like, okay, we're going to go through the cave. And he starts explaining to us that it's going to be dark. It's going to get really narrow. There's going to come a point where you can't kayak with your paddle. You have to put your paddle straight, like the length of the kayak, and use your hands to push your kayak through the cave.
Jesus.
I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Slightly, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, how far are we going? So you go in and you can see the other side. So you're not like, it's not pitch black.
Right. You're not like spelunking.
We're not spelunking.
Yeah.
But I will send you a video.
Okay.
Because the guy, he's like, I'm going in the back. You guys have to go first. So the guy goes first with our travel agent guy goes first in a single kayak.
What a hero.
We're behind him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a hero, Jen, because you know what happened? A huge wave comes in the cave from the other side, lifts him up in his kayak, almost flips him over. Apparently this happens sometimes. So it's like huge waves in this kayak. There are bats swooping over our heads. He starts to try to block himself with the paddle, and we're like, put it straight, use your hands. We're like yelling. I wish I had a full video of this, because we get to the other side and the guide was like a completely different person. Bubbly, nice. Not that he wasn't nice before, but like, when somebody's nervous?
Yes.
And they're just not talking very much. We think that was it. Because if it was been a bigger group, he wouldn't have taken us through. But because it was only a couple of us, then we can go through. And I think he was like sizing us up to see if we would make it.
Yeah. He was like, I'm going to just observe.
Yeah. So I don't think it's terribly dangerous if the waves aren't coming in.
Yeah.
But there are bats flying over your head.
Yeah.
You can only go through if you have a couple people.
Did you wear a helmet?
So just keep that all. No, but maybe that'd be something to think about.
Well, like right? It was narrow, but was it tall?
Not really. You had to like duck your head a little bit sometimes.
So like maybe I'd wear a helmet. I'm not much of a helmet gal, but I might. I hate when they make me wear a helmet when I horseback ride. I'm like, oh God, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Okay.
How much are you horseback riding?
Oh, I love to do it when I travel.
Really?
Yeah, like I've horseback ride in Turkey and Spain and Costa Rica, but like here, never.
That's so funny. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to see stuff because horses can obviously go places that you can't. So that's so funny though. You're like, what are you horseback? Oh, I'm an equestrian.
I'm imagining like Sex in the City when Charlotte like goes to the riding stable in the middle of downtown New York or wherever she is. I'm like, are you riding horses in Chicago? What is happening?
Yeah, exactly. Downtown by the bean.
Okay, so I would recommend the Batcave. If you don't want that level of danger, maybe just do the free tour.
Stay the fuck home. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, I mean, just do the free tour. If you don't want that level of adventure, Sandals ain't for you, okay?
The guy who gave the tour, he said his name was the Batman. So just go and ask for the Batman. He's the only one who gives the tours.
Was he handsome?
Yeah, I mean.
Would I think he's handsome?
Maybe.
Probably.
Okay, so we did that.
So I'm so proud of you.
Yes. Oh, just wait.
Oh, God.
Just wait.
Okay.
So this resort has some of the coolest like dining concepts that Sandals has. So if you go to different Sandals, some of the restaurants repeat themselves, like that you'll find the same one at different resorts. This resort is considered one of the Sandals 2.0 properties. So it means it has some really elevated restaurant concepts. Mm-hmm. So we go to dinner that night, was at this restaurant called Boucan. And Jen, you would love it because you sit at these family style tables with people you don't know.
But I will by the end of dinner. I'll know that whole table.
They'll all love you. Yes.
Yep.
So there's only 2 seatings. So if you go to Sandals St. Vincent, make sure that you make a reservation right away because it's very popular.
Quick question, just because I'm not sure how this works.
Yeah.
If you're going to a Sandals, can you make reservations? Do you have to make them when you get there or can you make them ahead of time?
That is a great question. So they just started allowing you to make one reservation 2 weeks in advance.
Okay.
But not all restaurants require a reservation. It's only a few.
Fair, but something like this, because you were like, oh, when you get there, make your reservation. And I was like, oh, that's stressful.
So if this is the one you want to go to, maybe that's the one you choose to make the reservation beforehand. And then the rest you can just make when you're there.
Now, when you're working with a client and booking them something like this, is that something you help them with? Or like, do they ask you for your recommendations of where to eat and stuff?
Yeah, I certainly provide recommendations for stuff. I remind them about when they can make the reservations. You do it through your app, so I can't make the reservation for them. However, I've had people who have a little trouble, and because I have direct contact with like the resort, I've contacted the resort before and be like, hey, my clients can't get this reservation to work in their app. Every single time I've contacted the resort directly, they've been able to get my clients in for what they wanted.
I think you should talk a little bit about this app.
The Sandals app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're at the beach, can you use the app to order a drink? What does the app do?
So you cannot. You can, if you have a butler room, that's how you can order drinks.
With that app?
No, not from the app. They give you a cell phone for your butler. So you have your own little fancy cell phone.
Got it.
The app has stuff on there like excursion information. It has all of the restaurants, their hours, menus, spa. It's very informative. Once you get closer to your vacation, they'll let you see the daily activities that are all listed, like the daily planner. So you can go in and mark what stuff you might want to do or be interested, and it will remind you of when things are coming up that you marked.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was just realizing I was curious about these things.
Well, we'll have to get you the app before we go in December.
I can't wait. I mean, I can wait for it to be December, but I can't wait for the trip.
Yeah, it'll be so fun.
Okay. Anyways, so you're having dinner.
I just wanted to talk about a little because there's nothing like it at any of the other resorts. So there's no menu. They bring out all these different kinds of local foods.
Cool.
And it's all family style for you to pass around and share. But the coolest thing is, so these islands down here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, they're all really known for their, they've got a lot of spices that they grow.
Yeah.
And so they have a whole tray of all these different spices and chutneys, and they tell you what they all are and what they go best with, but you can use them to like enhance your food, and it makes the food taste different based on what kind of spices and stuff you put on them. It's really cool.
That's amazing. And also Megan is talking so hardcore with her hands that Zoom is sending all these emojis at me. There's like hearts and thumbs up just coming my way.
I love food. It's like food is something that I am passionate about.
That sounds amazing because nothing is better than a condiment. Sauces and spices and condiments. Hello.
No, it's great. It's so fun. And not everything is spicy too. So if you don't like spicy stuff, there was one
then
or two
stay
that
the fuck
spicy.
home.
That's going to be Jen's tagline.
If you don't like spicy food, Sandals is not for you. Sandals is for adventurous people with spicy palates, okay? Just kidding. It's also for vanilla people.
Even if you're vanilla, we can find you something to eat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of course. Sandals is for everybody. I'm just being the troublemaker
definitely.
trying to compete with the tech.
Okay. We're at this dinner and they say, our leaders that are there, our hosts, they're like, we tried to get an excursion. We
Yes.
put in a request to have one for all of us to go on, but the resort was very busy and we haven't heard back from them. So it looks like tomorrow is going to be a free day. So we would encourage you to maybe go to Island Roots, which is there's a desk at all Sandals for Island Roots, and they do a lot of the excursions. So they can help you choose one. They're like, go, find something that you might like.
Mm-hmm.
We encourage you to get off the resort and do some stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do something, right?
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like, great, I can work.
Well, I mean, I probably should have, right?
No, you should know.
Okay. So I go and it's last minute.
Yeah.
So they give me this full sheet. If you look in advance, there's all this different stuff. So that's something else I help my couples do is we look at all the excursions way in advance of before they go, and I can talk to them about stuff and choose stuff so that you can also book when you're on the resort, but some stuff books up, especially at this resort. This is a very active resort. The island is very safe. Almost everybody was doing excursions, snorkeling, tours. It was like a very active place.
I think that's so valuable. And at least with me on this podcast, I don't think you've really driven home that element of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very helpful because I think sometimes, kind of when we were talking last week about destination weddings, it's like there's this idea like, oh, it's all inclusive. I don't need anything. I can just book it. And
yeah,
but it's like you are facilitating an experience and like
correct.
Making sure once they get there that they're getting everything that they want in. So that's huge.
Definitely. I mean, there's some stuff at these resorts that if you're not working with a travel advisor or if you're not doing your research, you just might not know.
Right.
So like, for example, they have really nice spas. And yes, the spa massages cost extra.
Right.
But you can go into the spa and use the plunge pool, the hot, cold plunge pool. You can sit in the saunas. You can use a lot of stuff there for free. And it's really nice, super relaxing, but not everybody knows it. So it's just stuff like that.
Yeah. So just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's I didn't know. I'm learning so much about what you do.
Yeah. Thanks.
Today. I love this podcast. Just bringing us closer.
I just keep thinking about our trip and all the stuff you're going to try to make me do.
I know. It's going to be great.
Okay. So I go and I'm like, I'm going to do some things. So I get the sheet and they highlight the few things that are still left. Okay. Take it back to my room and I'm like, okay, I get so seasick on boats, but I'm still like, I would do it, right? I would do it just to do it. And I know I'm going to feel crappy, but I'll get over it. It's not like I'm going to die from being seasick for a little bit, or I hope not, right?
Yeah.
But there's a couple options, and I narrowed it down to two things. I narrowed it down to this whale and dolphin watching where I'd have to get on the boat, or I narrowed it down to this nice 2-hour hike through a parrot sanctuary. And I kind of had decided that I wanted to do the hike because I was like, I will stay on dry land. I can take pictures for birds of sandals. And I wanted to go on a hike because there's tons of people going on hike through these like mountains that it's cool. It's just cool shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, before I booked the bird hike, my friend that I made texted me and she's like, hey, do you want to do the whale watching thing tomorrow? And I was like, okay.
My heart is so happy that you just said the friend that I made.
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
So I was like, well, this is fate. I had it narrowed down. Yeah, I'm going to do the whale watching with Rachel. She wants to do it. Let's do it. So we sign up. After we sign up, because these excursions, you have to pay extra for them. So we sign up, we pay for it. And all of a sudden, our hosts text everybody and they say, oh, we got approval to do a 4-hour catamaran cruise in the afternoon. I was like, oh my God, because I would have to be on a boat in the morning and then get off the boat for an hour and then get back on a boat. But I was going to do it.
Yeah.
I was going to do it.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So I slept and I was like, I'm going to be on a boat all day tomorrow. I am mentally preparing. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. So Rachel and I go down in the morning to get on the boat, and it's a 20-person speedboat. It's not a big boat. It's like a speedboat.
Is it one where everyone's facing front?
People sat around the outside.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
But we chose to sit in the back because I was like, if I face forward, I think I'll do a little bit better than if I'm on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So we start going out. And I mean, we're looking for whales. So you have to go pretty far out. All of a sudden, the waves are getting bigger and the waves are getting bigger. And a speedboat, you are like douche, 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 going up and down. And I won't give you the full thing, but like.
Did you vomit?
I did not vomit.
Wow.
I kept my eyes on the horizon.
Yeah, great.
And also, Rachel was feeling worse than I was. And so that was kind of surprising to me. So I was also kind of keeping an eye on her.
So you kind of turned into mom mode.
Yes.
Sometimes when you have to take care of someone else,
yes,
you feel better.
So we felt so sick that neither one of us could look down. You know, when you have to just keep your eyes straight. So like the tops of my legs are like burning because it's so hot and we're sitting in a boat. So I just like felt for a towel, put it over my legs because I didn't want to look down for my sunscreen. And then she's like, I can't take a pic. Like he kept like pointing stuff out, or we wanted to take a picture. She's like, I can't get my phone. I'm going to, like I just can't even look down. So I was like, okay, I can get some, photos or whatever. We saw no whales.
Oh.
We saw one dolphin, no whales.
Oh.
But you know what?
What?
We still saw some cool shit.
Yes.
Because then they took us over and we got to see the volcano on the island from the boat, which was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
He showed us some like rock formation stuff that I took pictures of. And then we got to see where Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed.
Yeah.
So we went through that beach, and our guide did a really great job of explaining certain scenes that happened in the movie and like where they were and telling us about the filming.
Oh my God.
It was so interesting.
That's awesome.
Yep. And we were both realizing that it was almost over. So we were feeling a little bit better. And then we stopped at a black sand beach.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
I had never been on one before.
I love volcanic islands.
Yes. I had never seen a black sand beach before, and it was really cool. And we got to snorkel and we took some pictures and we got off the boat. So that was fantastic.
I wonder, there's black sand beaches on Maui and the Big Island. There has to be on Oahu, don't you think? Because it's all volcanic.
Oh, I'm not sure.
It's all volcanic islands.
I'll have to look into that.
Anyways, yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so we got to do that, and then we got back. And on the boat ride back to the resort, both of us agreed that we were not going on the catamaran cruise that afternoon.
Yeah,
there was just no way. Like we were really not feeling great. So we apologized. We went back to our rooms, and then we got a little something in our stomach, and we just kind of sat.
And then drank and hung out. I will tell you this. I am very proud of you, and I'm very proud of us. I think that's one of the things that we share in common. We do it differently and to different extremes for different things, but it's like we put ourselves in situations. I know here we're talking about like trips. Like we put ourselves in situations all the time that are uncomfortable, like in Europe, but that translates to everything that we do, and I think it's just the growth happens outside of your comfort zone in all areas of your life.
Yes.
And Megan and I talk offline all the time about our businesses. Like recently we like to share ideas and stuff. And it's like, I'm just proud of us. I think that's something that's why we do what we do. And we get to have these experiences because we're like, you know what?
Yes.
I'm just going to do it or try it or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm going to do it. And I was really going to do that catamaran in the afternoon, but I just couldn't. Well,
yeah. And that's that's why I just go home and cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fine. But when I'm like coaching solo travelers, I'm really trying to get them in that mindset because I think what makes the difference between a really good trip and a super memorable trip are the moments that you're sharing where you're like, and then I went into a cave, and then I went on this boat, even though I was going to get sick or whatever. But that's when you come home and you're like, oh my God, I have so many great stories because I did all this crazy shit.
Yes.
Because I'm a spicy sandals gal. We can make a club like for the spicy sandals people.
We should get t-shirts and wear them that say spicy. No.
I liked that I almost got you on board with that. And then you're like, wait a second. No, that's probably not a good idea.
Well, we should probably have Planner's Passport podcast t-shirts.
Let's just be walking billboards. We'll just put everything on, all of our companies on a t-shirt or on a swimsuit.
So I can't promote when I go on the trips sponsored by Sandals. I can't promote my travel agency because otherwise, can you imagine going to these resorts and just having a bunch of travel agents walking around in their stuff trying to like push stuff on you? Like it'd be so annoying.
Let's get like Baywatch style swimsuits for the Planner's Passport and walk around.
Ew, nobody wants to see me wear that.
My goal is to lose like 40 pounds before this trip, so I might do it.
It definitely would get people's attention. Not in a good way.
A barcode on the back or whatever, like a
QR code.
A QR code on my butt.
Can I scan your butt?
I'm a spicy sandals gal.
Okay, I have one more story for you, spicy sandals gal.
One more story. Okay.
Okay. So when I go to these islands and I have some time to just sit and like read a book or I'm going to just chill, I'm a beach person.
Oh, that's right. We've talked about that.
I would rather sit in the sand than sit by the pool because I've got pools here. So at this resort, they have a really nice big pool. Pro tip, they have these like cabanas that are free to reserve, but you just have to do it in advance.
Yeah.
So the pool's really nice, but I like to be the beach.
I hear you. Yeah.
So I was at the beach by myself. I had brought my book, and all of the beaches in the Caribbean are mostly public beaches. Even when the resorts are there, beaches are public and they belong to the people who live on the island ultimately.
Uh-huh.
That's how you get the vendors walking around. So I didn't see any vendors because this resort is kind of in a cove of sorts.
Yeah.
However, on one side of the beach, there is a little path where families come, and occasionally you'll see some kids with some parents playing in the water just on one far side of the beach. They can't come up and use the resort chairs, and they're very respectful of not being like right in front of everybody, but it's their beach, right? They're allowed to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at the beach, and I like to stay at the beach as long as I can. Because like I said, I don't have a lot of free time. So people are starting to leave and get changed for dinner because people usually dress up a little bit for dinner. And it's so nice, right? The sun is setting, it's cooling down a little bit, and nobody's really in the water. And so all of a sudden I see these two local women come over, and they come into the water right in front of me, and I'm like, what are they doing? So they start line fishing.
Wow.
So they are line fishing, so without a fishing pole. And all of a sudden they start pulling these fish out of the water.
Wow.
It was crazy because the fish were super cool and they were not that far out into the water, where the next time I go, I'm going to bring my snorkel because I want to snorkel right there. So then I was like, I'm going to go talk to this lady, because she was very interesting to me. She would catch the fish, she would bring it back up to the beach, get it off her hook, and then stick it into her swimsuit.
She's spicy.
She is a spicy sandals gal.
Spicy sandals gal. I like her.
And then she would go back in the water, and I will just say that she had a lot of room in her suit. I'll just say that, okay? To hold the fish where you all are imagining she's holding the fish.
Yeah.
They're in there.
Yeah.
So when I went to talk to her, I could see some fish heads poking up in her swimsuit. But she was so kind. She told me the name of the fish, which I do not remember. And she was telling me how they were really good on the grill. But it was She let me take a picture. I have a picture of her with the fish.
That's so cool.
It was so interesting. Once her suit got full, she buried them in the sand and then went out and caught more fish. And then when they were done, she like dug them up and they probably took them to eat them or whatever. But she was a boss because she was catching all these fish and her friend was trying to fit. Like she seems like the
personality hire.
Yeah, like she seems like the friend who was like, yeah, I'll go with you. How hard could it be? Right.
Yeah.
And then she starts doing it and it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Well, she like finally catches a fish and boss lady, because you don't have a pole to reel it in.
Yeah.
She's like, run, like yelling at her
like
to
run out of
the water. And the woman lost the fish because she just wasn't, maybe it was her first time. She was just learning. But yeah, it was really fun and interesting just to watch them fish and to talk to her to see what she was going to do with them. And I, like you said, like I always encourage people to talk to the locals and learn stuff about the islands that you go to.
Yeah. One time when I was in St. Martin, I was with 2 girlfriends and we found this like restaurant on a beach in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so we were walking the beach back to get to our car. And we saw this man with like a bag of bread walking in the water, and he's like dropping pieces of bread. And so like we went up and to see what he was doing, and he had this school of fish around him, and he was like, "Do you want to feed the fish?" And so like we were feeding the fish would like swim into your hand and just like And he's like, I pick them up every day after work. They wait for him at the dock and he walks them to his house.
Because they know that he's coming to feed them.
Every day.
That is so funny.
And it was so cool because we're like, all these beautiful fish are just like swimming around us. And we're like, like we felt like we were like Ariel, So yeah, it was very cool.
When we were in Turks and Caicos 2 times before, there was a guy in the water who had brought a box of little Cheerios and was feeding the fish, which I don't know if Cheerios are good for fish. We're probably going to get some people on you be like, don't feed the Cheerios to fish. I get it, right? But it was the same thing. The fish were coming over. My kids were little and they thought it was really cool.
It is. I mean, it's cool when you're grown up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I feel like this was a very epic trip for you. Traveling solo, even for work, you're kind of forced to put yourself in different situations.
Yeah, you definitely are. And I would go back to this resort in a heartbeat. Jared already wants to go back, so we're trying to figure it out.
Same. I'm like, why?
There was another travel agent that had a trip booked somewhere else and changed it to that resort while we were there because we were all like, this is an amazing property.
You have been on a few trips like this since we've started recording. And this is the first one that I'm like sitting here like, oh, I wonder if I could squeeze a trip in. Like, I don't know why, but I'm like, I need an island right now.
Yeah, everybody needs an island.
Yeah, I know. But I guess I'll stick with Northern California. God, hello. Northern California. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. Go drink some wine.
Yeah.
Oh no, you said you were going to not drink.
I don't think I'm going to drink. I mean, I'll have like a glass or something. I'm not going to like throw down.
But you're going to Sonoma. You have to.
I threw down last week at a industry event. And when you're 42, it takes a while to come back from a throwdown.
Yes, it does.
Nothing sounds appealing for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, ooh. I think when we were younger too, it's not like we got drunk on wine. Getting drunk on wine is like,
ugh, it's the worst.
It's so bad. So going to wine country right now, I'm like, I'll have a gin and tonic if I have anything. But we'll do an episode because the whole point of me going out there, besides working for this, because I'll have a lot of free time as well, is I'm going to fully explore kind of the little communities, little towns, cities.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to come back with a lot of good info of Northern Cali. And
awesome.
I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So
thanks for listening about my journey.
Yes. And if you are listening this morning and you are in Milwaukee, please come say hi to us tonight at Wet MKE. And if you have a house cup, we'll let you up to the front and we'll give you an autograph first.
And remember, if you come ask us a question that we record for the podcast, we're giving out free drink tickets too.
Yes. For those 25 people. Yeah. And no top shelf shit.
Yeah.
But we'll get you a beer or a glass of wine. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Anyways. All right. Well, See you tonight.
See you tonight. Bye, Jen.
Okay, bye.
Thanks so much for joining us again this week. If you have a wedding or travel-related story of your own that you would like us to share in a future episode, send us an email to theplannerspassport@gmail.com.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Planner's Passport, and follow all of our travel and wedding businesses, including We Roam Solo, Dare to Dream Travel, and Dare to Dream Weddings. And please, if you enjoy our show, remember to rate, review, and subscribe from wherever you are listening to this podcast.